We're live, apparently. We're here. We're on the air. I'm just going to wait for people to kind of join the chat and such. But hello, I know it's weird to see you in it. Been quite a while, a lot of things to go through, a lot of things to explain. But as you can tell by the title of the stream, we're here to react to the Europa League group stage draw, which is due to begin any minute now. Where Celtic and Rangers as well, if any Rangers fans are watching, we'll find out their Europa League group stage opponents for the 2019-20 season. It's good to be back. Hopefully this is the start of being back on YouTube, as you probably seen on CJ's channel on Monday if you're a viewer of the SPFL show. If you're not, then I'll just start watching it on CJ Novel 992 with me, Gogsy and Sharpdiv. As you probably heard, I wasn't on the show for reasons and such, but now hopefully back to YouTube and starting college and stuff like that the past week. So it's been, and just some other things as well. So it's been a few weeks where I've not been on YouTube, but I'm glad to be back now. And today we're here to react to this as the draw starts. I'm going to keep the volume down so it doesn't play through my microphone. But if you, hopefully everything here is fine. But yes, if you want to, join in with the conversation, if you want to ask questions, fire away in the chat on the side. I like to try and keep these streams as interactive as possible and answer as many questions as possible. But the draw is about to kick off. The intro to it is beginning right now. Celtic failing to make the Champions League again for the second consecutive season, which is sad. Cluj obviously knocking us out last week. Missed a lot of the reaction to that on my chat. Missed everything since Kieran Taylor's left the club. That's the last video I made. But 115 people so far in the stream. Thank you if you have came along. If you would like to as well, leave a like to support the stream. Everything is much appreciated. So I don't know how long it's going to take for the actual draw to begin. You usually get the shite that you have to sit through. You usually get a lot of talking, which really isn't relevant to what you're wanting to tune in and watch, but we've got to sit through it anyway. But we'll get it done. I'm actually going to turn the subtitles on so that I can listen to what they're saying and kind of speak about it as well, as if the subtitles even work. That usually doesn't on my telly. There we go. That's it. Having a look back on last season's Europa League, for example, which we did compete in, as Celtic Park was just shown there, actually. So this year, hopefully, going for a successful campaign is what we got last year, I would say. Last year we made it to the round of 32, didn't get past that, which was a shame. Could have been nice to get forward. Well, handed a tough time. Valencia had a cracking trip to Benidorm out of that as well, so hoping for more of the same, some excitement, and a chance to get as close to Istanbul as possible, which is difficult in the state of modern football for teams like Celtic and Rangers to get to a European final. It's not like 2003 and 2008 anymore. The landscape of football has changed. I wish it was the same. I wish that we were able to compete with the teams who have mega bucks to spend. You're looking at a competition where Manchester United have come off the back of spending £200 million. Arsenal have spent £100 million. Wolves have spent millions, hundreds of millions over the last couple of years. You're looking at a tournament where even just the English teams alone make it difficult for you to get far in this tournament. But we'll talk about everything we can in this stream. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the chat. So if you are here, thank you for coming along. And I guess we kind of take this part of the stream as kind of like a Q&A session. Make it about the Europa League, make it about Celtic, make it about Rangers, etc. And we'll try and answer as many questions as possible, mostly Celtic, of course. But you know what? It's the Europa League, and we want to talk about as much of that as possible. Yes, before anybody asks, my video for the Old Firm this Sunday will be made probably today, probably only a couple of hours after this. We'll get uploaded, my preview, my predictions, and hopefully, we'll have a good laugh at that. But mostly going to focus on the Europa League in this stream. So send your questions through in the chat. I can see some people, just a shout out to a few of the people watching: Richard Murray, George Woodrow, Andy F, Bader El Kaduri, Damien McGawkey, a few people, Glasgow 67. Thank you all for everybody who's turning up, liking the stream. If you haven't already, make sure you like it, and interacting in the chat. So they're just kind of giving a feedback on what happened last year, showing you fucking Chelsea going and win the thing. Who cares? Let's see. Before I actually get on to answering the questions, the dream scenario from this Europa League draw, the worst scenario from this Europa League draw also. I mean, this is the Europa League is obviously a competition where you don't get it as tough as what you'd get in the Champions League. You're missing out on the superpowers of European football. We have Man United and Arsenal in there, for example. But this is a chance for us to actually get into European football after Christmas without suffering as maybe as big the embarrassments as what we'd get in the Champions League, which we've seen over the last few years. You know, we've seen the embarrassments to PSG, we've seen the embarrassments to Barcelona under Brendan Rodgers, and we're having the chance to avoid it again. Yes, it's sad to miss out the Champions League. That's what you ultimately want to be in. You get the most money, you get the bigger games. It's just the most exciting competition, and it brings the most atmosphere to Celtic Park. More importantly, it's just overall what you want to see. It's not good enough that we didn't make the Champions League this year. Hands down, we want to make that every year. And by missing out, you know, it shows the board and it shows the manager, and ultimately it shows us, the fans, that we're not as good as what sometimes we make out, and we need to go and spend money and improve our team. But we can only do so much, I suppose, in the state of modern football, which we've already spoke about today. For the people who do want to watch the draws, I see people asking for links. It is on YouTube. You can watch it live there. But stick around here. You'll get some quality input, some quality opinion, and I'll get to answer your questions as well. I believe also it will be on the UEFA website. So I'm going to get my phone out and you know, kind of answer some questions. Also keep up to date on Twitter with the groups and such in the pots. I'm going to give my opinion on what is the worst possible group, the best possible group, and then, because I see a lot of people saying who you want and who do you want to avoid, what do you think the best scenario is? I can see that people putting in their best scenarios in the chat. Who do I think we'll get? I don't know. You can't predict. There's too many teams. You're looking at a 64-team competition here. It is very. It's not 64. It's 48, isn't it? 48 teams, and then you get some dropping down. Yes, I've got. You know, I'm stealing CJ's thing. They're a sponsor break, aren't I? But aye, we're gonna go and keep up with that. So let me go and get the thing up, and then we will give my opinions on the best and worst scenarios, because I did tweet a picture earlier. If you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Ryan Stephen F, it would be very appreciated. So, in my opinion, the best scenario for us is, and the group that I would like to see us get would be, personally, Arsenal from pot 1, Rosenborg from pot 3, and Cluj from pot 4. Now, you ask, Ryan, why the fuck would you want Cluj? They just knocked us out. I think that if we get them again, and it's a different scenario, I believe that we have the quality to beat them, and we should have beat them, and it was embarrassing that we didn't. Things just fell apart that night at Celtic Park. You know fine well that if Scott Brown didn't stick his hand there and gave away that penalty, we would have probably went through. I'm very confident that would have happened. The Europa League Player of the Season award's getting given out just now as well. I think it's getting given to Eden Hazard. But, you know, we would have went through that night. We were a better team than Cluj, and from silly mistakes, we were the masters of our own downfall. So, I mean, I would happily take them again. I'd happily take them again, and then I think we can beat them. I don't know. There's not much else to say. I'm sitting starting for words here. But aye, so the best possible scenario, I think Arsenal. I believe if we get one of the big English teams, as in Man United and Arsenal, we always give them a game. I think we always perform quite well against English teams. And we get to meet Kieran Tierney again. And also, you see these English teams, the bigger ones, not with Wolves. Wolves won't do it. Wolves won't definitely do it. But with Man United and Arsenal in the Europa League, they will rest their sides. They will put out the weakest possible sides that will, they think, get them a result. And I think at Celtic Park we could take them. So Arsenal or Man United, but I'd rather take Arsenal. Meet KT again. Rosenborg, you know, we've played them so many times over the last few years. We know what they're about. We know what we're doing, and we're capable of beating them. We know that at Celtic Park and over in Norway, and in Cluj, because I want some revenge as well. The worst possible scenario will be. Let me go and see. Here we go. Worst possible scenario. I mean, Sevilla, maybe. Roma, maybe. You know, you're looking at some tough teams within that first pot. You've got Wolfsburg in there. You've got Lazio in there. There's a few tough teams. Probably Sevilla. To be honest, I'd like to avoid anybody in the top of the pot 1. I would maybe say Roma. I don't know. There's a couple of teams in there you'd like to avoid. Pot 3, I mean, the top seeded one is St Etienne. I thought there's a lot of good teams in there, but Wolves is the one that you'd like to miss. This is a big deal for them. European football has not been a Wolves thing in a long, long time. Wolves is the team you want to avoid there. Then in pot 4, I mean, pot 4 is the kind of, you look at the group, the teams in the group, and, you know, there's a lot there. You know, we're capable of beating at Celtic Park. We can beat all of them. Probably just AZ Alkmaar, because they are the top seeded team in pot 4. That even at that, though, a group with Sevilla, Wolves, and Easy Alkmaar. I mean, compared to the group we got last year was the toughest you could possibly get in the Europa League. Last year we got fucking, what was it called again? Leipzig, Salzburg, and Rosenborg. We had to go through with help of Rosenborg, if you remember rightly. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't an easy group. We were handed the toughest possible thing, and we still managed to go through. Look, we're a top two pots. We're in the top two seeded, areas. We are expected to go through, and we should be going through. We have the quality. Now, Rangers fans, what do you think? What do you want? Let me know in the chat section. But we're going to go through, and I'm going to answer some questions now, because we're 10 minutes in. We're still waiting for the fucking draw to start, and this stream could last ages. Usually when the draw actually kicks off, though, it flies through. We get to the bottom of things quite quickly. So start sending your questions in the chat, and I will answer them until we get to the beginning of the draw, until we start seeing Celtic getting pulled out the hat. And then we'll be able to concentrate on things. Now, obviously, my TV is here, so I'm going to be looking here a lot rather than into the camera. You've got to excuse me for that. There's not much I can do. But aye. Are you happy with the transfers? First question coming through from CFC Logic. No, I can't say I am. I was happy originally. I was happy initially. We looked like we were going to do a lot of business. But over the last few weeks, Neil Lenz came out and said we might be signing 3 or 4 players. And we're still waiting on a big thing to be done. Forster and Bauer came in, both on loan deals though, and we still lack depth, and that was evident last night when you see Ayer going off the park, you see Edouard go off the park. We don't have a lot of options to turn to. We lack any quality and depth, and we need to bring in some players now, and we've only got 2 days to do it. So we've got to hurry up and get the thing out, and we can only hope that things are being kept quiet behind the scenes, because we've heard nothing. The whole talk about Mierlig and Greg Taylor, nothing's happening there. There's just a lot to be done. I'll talk about Ashley Cole. I don't give a shit. So I'm not too happy. I was initially happy. We have brought in some decent enough players. They've still got to fit in though. A lot of stuff to do. Expectations for the Europa League. As Hanan Mizkildi. I am so sorry. I butchered the pronunciation of that name. But no, it's not Hasnan. Sorry, it's Hanan. But my apologies. Hanan asked the expectations. The expectations is, look, get through the groups. Look at who we get, and then you look at them. Because if we get through the groups and we're handed, say, a team that's dropped down from the Champions League, a team of good quality. I mean, you could see anybody drop down. Real Madrid could drop down. Bayern Munich could drop down if they have a bad group stage. You've got to look at who you get in the last 32 and then set your expectation level. It'd be beautiful for the thought of us to go all the way to Istanbul. Not going to happen. It's to get through the groups. That's my expectation. Put in some decent performances and avoid embarrassment. That is really my expectations. What did I think of the performance last night? Says AGI 1888. I thought the performance was, it wasn't, sparkling. It wasn't amazing, considering we won 4-1. You look at a 4-1 result and you think to yourself, must have been great, but no, we weren't anything amazing. AIK were just very poor, and I think their heads dropped towards the end of the game. We started off very shaky until we got the goal. We didn't look like we were the team that was going to be going for it, but you know what? We got what we needed, and I would have happily have walked away last night just with the thought of we are through to the group stage, despite what the result was. If we got through to the group stage, I'd have been happy, because then we can turn our heads, focus onto this game on Sunday. But the good thing is this has built a lot of confidence for Sunday, and I feel like a lot of Celtic fans, which is great, have changed their mind on Sunday, because after we performed badly against Dunfermline and we were knocked out of the Champions League, and that'll kind of spell there, a lot of Celtic fans' confidence just went boom, and we thought, oh no, Sunday's not going to be great, the Old Firm's not going to be great. But after that result last night, I think a lot of confidence is back on our sides, and it'll probably be back on the players' side. So we'll talk about Sunday eventually at one point, or even just on the channel later. But Europa League is the priority, as I've said. So let's see. Do you prefer being in Euro? Do you prefer it being called the Europa League or the UEFA Cup? Says Stephen. Steve RFC7. I'm not really bothered. It's the same thing. But we got to the final of the UEFA Cup, so I prefer the name of that. But it doesn't really make much of a difference. You're bringing out more Football Manager content, maybe in FM20. There's no point in doing FM19, but FM20, we'll see when it comes out and how we're doing. Why do you talk heavy rapid, man? Calm down, take a breath, says Charlie. I need to talk rapid. There's a lot of things to cover. Oh, here we go. They're talking about Porto. They're going to show us getting beat. That's great. That'll be fantastic. I hope they don't. Oh, they are. Yep, there we go. We're getting the videos of Seville. Great. Great reminder. Great way to start the stream, lads. May as well end it here. I'm going to get the hankies out, because I was only 3-year-old at the time. I do speak fast, I know that. But you know what? We're all Glaswegian Celtic fans. Well, not all of us. I don't know why I said that. I'm not all Glaswegian. But you should be able to understand me. But let's see. I'm trying to look for some more questions. Miss your old summer streams. How are you? You well, mate, says Padraig. Padraig, nice to see you again. An old timer on the channel, someone who's been here through it all. It's good to see you again, and I'm doing fine. Getting things back together on YouTube, hopefully. And maybe some streams and that coming back eventually. And hopefully just videos. There's Mojo as well, another one of the old timers. Nice to see you. Again, what do you think about the Europa League 2 coming in 2021? I think it's a ridiculous concept for a competition. I mean, they're showing it. There we go. They're giving us a very deep analysis of the 2003 final right now, which is great. Getting it rubbed right into us. Paulo Ferreira is the man on stage. I didn't want to have that to be the thing that kicked off our stream, but here we are. I mean, there's not much to say. I just wish they'd start the draw, because we're now 15 minutes into the stream and I'm just having to talk absolute shit when I should be just analysing, who we're getting in the group. Anyway, David Patterson says, do you think Neil Lennon's had too much pressure put on him from the fans? We've pressed the panic button a few times and we should back him more. We are a very, very, when something happens, we react. We're a reactive, I don't know the word, type of fan base. We are. Something bad happens and then everybody jumps. Get the board out, get the manager out, blah, blah, blah. Something bad happens and we just jump. We're on everybody's backs. And I mean, I can understand the frustrations about transfers. There's no reason to be happy about that situation, and there's a reason to be unhappy because we haven't signed well. So I can understand frustration, but we've definitely piled a lot of pressure onto Neil Lennon at points. And maybe now we'll see fans come back onto his side because we got through to the group stage. But the draw is finally about to start. So fantastic. That is what matters. Celtic and Rangers obviously both in this draw. Celtic in pot 2. Once the draw is complete, I will give my opinions on the group we have been drawn. And we'll probably briefly speak about this Claudio Ranieri on the stage. My favourite. I love his accent. It's fantastic. It's not actual Claudio Ranieri, in case you think it is. It's a wee Italian UEFA guy. Fantastic accent. Love him. It's a highlight of the football year, watching these draws. But I'll give my opinion on Celtic's group. Probably briefly speak about Rangers groups for the Rangers fans who are watching, because I know there are some here. And then we'll probably just wrap up the stream. Probably about 40 minutes long we're talking here, because it'll be about 20 minutes from now on. They should just go right through with the draw though, without any big breaks or anything. So that's good. But send through your questions and I'll try and answer some as we wait for the next, because I've got to explain the news. What's this? What they're talking about? They'll talk about some sad news, but I don't know what it is. I'm really confused. God knows. Anyway, any questions about the Europa League, feel free to send them through. What left back do you want to see come in? Bolly just isn't good enough. I think we're not being patient with Bolly enough. I feel like we should give the guy more of a chance. He's definitely showed glimpses of potential there. He's not as bad as what I think people are making out, but if any have to come in, we've basically narrowed it down to Taylor and Milik. I'd definitely choose Taylor if it was me. Controversially, perhaps, but I just would. I think that Greg Taylor is potentially, got the opportunity to become a big thing for both Scotland and Celtic. So it's a win-win situation. Let's just keep sending them through, because now we're having a look at the fucking technical procedure. We'll get there sometime tomorrow. This really annoys me, because it could just be a lovely, smooth stream and people would stay watching. But instead, we've got to sit and watch all this, and they've got to explain it all. Andy F says he's watching the straw and he would take Porto out of pot 1. Out of pot 1, as I said, I want one of the 2 English teams, because just in case you've missed, the explanation is simple. Man United and Arsenal are not going to give a shit in the group stage. They know they have got more than capable resources of getting through that group, and they've got the players, and they will rest. They will play weak teams. And to think about Arsenal or Man United coming up to Celtic Park with a weak team, they're there for the taking. We always turn up against English teams, I feel like we always do well. You look at how we played against Man City a couple of years ago, fantastic performances, both home and away. You look at Man United back when Nakamura scored the free kicks, fantastic performances. I feel like I think there's a wee bit of a kick inside the players to show, stop slagging us, stop slagging Celtic. We are good enough and we'd fucking have a chance in the Premier League. Obviously, it's different now. Brendan Rodgers is gone. We've reset, kind of thing. We've got to see how we are now. But I'm confident of our abilities of taking on either Man United or Arsenal. So from pot 1, that is who I want. Are you going to do more match day previews and reviews. Yes, hopefully I get down to it. My plan was to actually do it for every game this season, as many games as possible, no matter who it is, Motherwell, Hamilton, Rangers, Man United, whoever the fuck it is. I was hoping to do more, but obviously I took a kind of break over the YouTube in the last few weeks. Hopefully going to get back into things starting today, hence why the stream. So hopefully there will be more. I don't want to promise anything because I'm sick of promising videos now. I don't do it, but hopefully I'll just take it a little more casually this time, a casual approach. What's your view on the Scotland squad? Says Walshy Boy. Yeah, it's kind of what I expected to see. So I've not got much. I feel like we're a bit weak on the forward scenario. I understand why Griffiths hasn't been picked. I'm not going to cry about it, but we are weak going forward. I'm a weak at centre half as well. It's really, it's just difficult being a Scotland fan, isn't it? Will Forster play against Rangers? Asked Lewis Cameron. I do believe he will. Gordon only played last night because Forster wasn't registered. I believe Forster is going to be the first choice keeper for Neil Lennon. How would you feel about getting Man United? Says Pedro, which is obviously, in case you don't know, Man United are kind of like my second team sort of thing. I only support one team, and that's Celtic. But I like Man United. Technically, I do support them. I suppose I'm high the fucking top every season. I like to see them win. That is basically support them. I wouldn't be bothered. I know who I want to win. I know I want Celtic to fucking tan them. I'd love Celtic to embarrass them. I wouldn't care if we got Man United. So give us whoever we get. I know what I want. I know what we need, and that is to win the games. And if it's United, then fuck it. Don't care. Celtic need to perform against them, home and away. United aren't strong at the minute, and we can take advantage of that. Let's see. Any more questions coming through? There's not much coming through. Just the draw is. Oh, the draw is actually starting now. Ashley Cole's got the buzz out. Here we go. Ashley Cole. Did I say Ashley Young? Ashley Cole has got the buzz out. I think I said Ashley Young, but the first team drawn out the pot is Sevilla, the one that I said probably want to avoid the most, probably the strongest team, hence why they're the highest ranked in the competition. I mean, this is the kind of boring part because you've got to sit through, and it's more groups in the Champions League as well. Don't worry, is that Jorg? It's Coke Zero. I know Coke's bad for you, but this is Coke Zero, no sugar. I'm a smart man. I'm looking after the teeth to some extent. This is kind of the boring part because you're just kind of finding out who's in what group. Now, in streams gone by, I've always had like the little thing in the corner off the UEFA website so you can keep up. But YouTube's changed. The streaming services have all changed, so I'm just kind of using the basic one just now so that I can get used to it, and then eventually in the future we'll bring that back. But the first two teams out, I believe Sevilla, Dynamo Kiev so far drawn out the group. Rangers fans who are watching, who do you feel confident of getting to the last 32? Obviously, last year missing out narrowly, missing out on getting to the last 32 this year. Do you feel like you can? I believe Celtic should be expecting it. Rangers, on the other hand, always going to get tougher group than Celtic as they're a top four side. That's just the honest truth. I'm not being biased. It's just a situation. Celtic fans and Celtic should be expecting to get the last 32. I think Rangers fans should only be expecting to get to the group stage. And that's where they are. They should be happy with that. But do Rangers fans believe they can get further this season? That is the question. That's pretty much my big question. Let's see. Just keep up with what's happening on the phone. Take a second's breather, if you could. You know when you go and watch like live porn and the people on the top for like 5 minutes. I'm joking, for fuck's sake. I'm a joking. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying that stuff on the air, should I? Wow. Once it's on the air, you can never take it back. That's it. Everybody's 158 people have seen it so far. There we go. Finito. Make sure to get subscribing, by the way, if you're new to the channel. I mentioned that. Subscribers have been going up slowly because of how lazy I've been recently. And that's understandable. I can't complain. That is my own doing. It's good to be back. I know there's a lot of explaining to do. I'll probably mention it more in a video or something. But thank you to everybody who has turned out here. I know it's been a boring channel to be subscribed to recently with no content being going up. But hopefully, as I said, this is the return for some videos. And we can get the ball rolling again. As Ashley Cole tries to keep his balls rolling around this thing as he spins them round. CSK Moscow, I believe, are just drawn there. I mean, it's not going to be long. Celtic are going to be out very, very, very soon. Keep sending your questions through to keep the stream as topical as possible and as entertaining as possible. Let's see. What I'll be doing FIFA 20 career mode. I might. Depends if I have the time with work and college to actually play FIFA. I don't play games that much anymore. Football Manager, I play as much as I humanly can. And even that, it's not too much nowadays. So, you know, balancing just life in general with playing a game is it gets difficult. I kind of envy the people that are like 15 that have no worries but school and they can just play FIFA. That was me just only a matter of time ago, and things have changed. What do you do at college? Says FRH. I'm doing journalism. Yes, expect to see me in the Super Scoreboard sometime soon. And that's why I probably shouldn't say about my porn stuff on this. You know, that'll probably cost me. But we can all have a good laugh. You know, journalists can have a good laugh. I mean, people are saying Matthew's saying he's absolutely shitting himself. Look, I don't think there's a need to be shitting ourselves. We can get a tough group, but as I've said, last year we've got the toughest group humanly possible to man in the Europa League. We were handed the group of death in the Europa League. Salzburg, Leipzig, Rosenborg was not easy, and you've seen how difficult it was. We had to rely on that goal Rosenborg got, and that got us through. This year, I believe, even if we get a hard group, we should be looking to be in that top two in the four-man group. We should be getting to the last 32. We've got the team to do it. And yes, despite how dodgy our performances have been against Cluj, that kind of gets you down a little bit. We should be doing it. Someone says Tom English 2.0. Absolutely not. Hugh Keevans 2.0 maybe. Tom Boyd 2.0 maybe. Marky says when you bring back Scottish fans versus English fans, don't worry, I will get one made one day. I know they are the most popular videos on the channel, so there is a need for that to come back, and one day it will. You just got to wait for something to kick off, and then that's when that video comes out. Can't do any worse than Rodgers in Europe, says David Patterson. I mean, granted, Rodgers did get us back-to-back Champions League group stage appearances, so you know, with that. Football's changed so much that Celtic fans have to be realistic with their expectations against the bigger sides. But here we go. Pot two teams that are coming out. Celtic will be within this group of teams. So this is the part we need to pay attention to. This is the part that matters the most. And the first team out is Apoel from Cyprus. So who will they take? Hopefully they take the likes of Sevilla. Hopefully they take the likes of, I don't know, who else would I like to avoid in this section. I wouldn't like to go back to Russia. I think Russia's just a tough trip, but they got Sevilla. Apoel get Sevilla. So is that how it works? So just go A, right? Okay, was that right? Apoel get Sevilla. Beautiful. That's good. The one I wanted to avoid is gone. Things are going smoothly right now. I remember last year I got excited because I thought we were avoiding Leipzig, and then Leipzig actually got put with us, and it was just quite embarrassing. And hopefully we don't get any of that again. Basel and Krasnodar have been paired together in Group C. Obviously, the Russians and the Ukrainians aren't allowed to be paired. Copenhagen is the next team out. I believe they're going into Group B now with Dynamo Kiev. I might be wrong there. Oh, was that? Oh, then Group D, sorry. Oh, not Group B, Dynamo Kiev. Yep, I'm correct there. Copenhagen getting Dynamo Kiev. As I said, I want Arsenal. I do want Arsenal, despite how... And we get a trip out of that. Could drive down to London easily. So that would be nice. Next team out is PSV Eindhoven, Dutch side, obviously. The Dutch team's looking to maybe get a wee bit of magic in Europe this year after looking how Ajax done last season. Unremarkably good. And they're paired with Sporting Lisbon, another team wearing the green and white hoops. But Group D they were put into. So here we go. Who's next? Celtic. I want Arsenal. I do. But I can't remember what group Arsenal. Celtic have been drawn out the pot. Here we are. This is us. We've been drawn. Celtic have been paired with. Is that Porto? Are we going to Porto? Are we getting Porto? Oh, Lazio. Oh dear. That's Lazio. Oh Jesus. The right wings. Eintracht Frankfurt, a team that I'm glad we're avoiding in this competition. Obviously can't be paired with them. But Lazio, how do we think? What do we think about Lazio? A trip to Italy. I will not be going on that trip because I don't want stabbed. The Lazio fan, obviously, a bit different. Just a bit. Just a slight bit. So what are we thinking, people? What are we... Fucking hell, my finger. No, I fucking broke it. Young boys have been drawn out now. Oh my Jesus Christ. I'm sad. I really did. I really did want Arsenal or Man United. I mean, if we get Wolves, fuck me. That's like maybe I spoke too soon. Now that I think it, Lazio is one of the teams that I would like to have avoided. You know, you're looking at a very, very intense fan base, very, very brutal people, very brutal. And I've not kept up with Lazio whatsoever. Somebody saying bringing back podcasts and cooking streams has to be done. Mojo saying that. I want to. Trust me. Podcast is one of the main priorities. And maybe through college, an upgraded podcast may be available soon. But I mean, a wee trip to Rome to play Lazio. I will not be going. I will not be going because I feel like that can only end in disaster. I've not kept up with Lazio at all. I don't keep up with Italian football. I don't know how Lazio are currently performing. I don't know how they performed last year. I don't know anything about them. I can't pretend to. But I just know I would have liked to avoid them because the Italian league's one of the top leagues in the world. You're like a team that going to Europe. They've got to be a good team. There's no denying that. But that's mental, isn't it? I mean, we couldn't have asked for a more opposite fan base unless we were drawn against like Hamburg, who are in the second division in Germany. Haha. Wolfsburg and Ghent are the next ones. So now we just know we want to avoid Wolves. That's it for top three. We just want to make sure to avoid Wolves. Lisbon Lions took care of them. Who's that representative next to the Ludogorets representative? I don't know. I wasn't really looking Pappy. Sorry. Lazio won't rest players either. Very fair point from Andy. That is true. You know, you look at. I mean, any team in this competition shouldn't be resting players. There's only two teams that are going to do it, and that's Arsenal and Man United. This is a prestigious competition to win. For clubs like Celtic anyway, this is massive. If we want to win this, I'd remember it today, I fucking died. Man United fans never hand. When they went to Stockholm in 2017, it's not something they're going to talk about in 50 years. I mean, we've done that. It's kind of like when an English team, you know, tries to make a European Cup Winners' Cup something big and their fans just don't care. It's true. They act like they care, but they don't. You know, Rangers winning this, the winning in 1972 is massive for them. And rightly so. If we won it in 2003, massive. But Man United and Arsenal, they don't give a shit. They know they're bigger than this competition in their eyes. I don't think anybody should believe they're bigger than this competition. It's still a prestigious competition to go and win. Not obviously the Champions League. But top three is about to begin. Lazio, though, drawing with Celtic in the major news right now. Rangers obviously still got a little bit to wait. They're not in till top four. So there you go, Lazio. I just can't believe that that's the one we ended up getting. As I said, couldn't be any more opposite. Did want Arsenal, but we'll have to take what we're given. And now it gets a little bit more confusing. Teams just can't be assigned to the fifth because of TV pairings and all that shit. Because football's run by money now, and you know it's just Karabag's the first team out. Karabag from Azerbaijan, a place which I'm glad we don't have to go to. Once again, you like to avoid the long travels. I suppose Italy's like 3 hours. Sevilla, Apoel, and Karabag, quite a gumph group there. Not much to be excited about. Also, you've got to remember, teams like Karabag have fans just like us that want a group. And you forget about that. Malmo is the next team out. Sweden, obviously. Place we just visited yesterday in AIK. Dynamo Kiev, Copenhagen, and Malmo. I mean, a very, very quick journey there for the Scandinavians. Between Sweden and Denmark, so that'll suit them travel-wise, I suppose. I've got to think about this domestically. It's going to affect both Celtic and Rangers, moving match days to Sunday and such. But Copenhagen, given Malmo. We're still waiting on our third team. Got to remember, Lazio, you know, that's a very good point. Forgot all about that. Cole Drummond bringing up Lazio have the players to do damage. Immobile, who has been sensational at points. And Milinkovic-Savic, one of the most highly rated midfielders in Italy and in Europe, linked with £90 million moves to Manchester United. Good players. It's got to be difficult, an intimidating place to go for the away leg. Feyenoord, the next team out, obviously the team who beat Celtic in the 1970 European Cup final, held back Celtic from winning potentially 2 European Cups. And they're put in a group with Porto, the team who beat us in the 2003 Europa League final, and Young Boys. Young Boys of Switzerland, I believe. So, you know what? That's quite a difficult group. I believe this one could be ours. Rosenborg is out. Don't tell me that is ours, because that you can't write that if we are getting drawn Rosenborg here. You cannot write it. It's no us, is it? Oh, it's no. Phew. I was like, not again. Although I did want them. I did actually say I wanted them. Sporting Lisbon, PSV Eindhoven, Rosenborg is the draw for that group. Try to keep up with the chat as well. Right, here we go. Next team. I believe this could be us. I can't remember what fucking group we are. I believe this could be us. Stade Rennes, FC of France. I mean, is that ours? Is Renee? I thought it was Rennes. Renee. Aye, we're going to France. We're going to Italy. We're getting a trip around the Mediterranean, lads. We're getting a lovely wee Mediterranean cruise here. Just need a team for Spain to make it up. There we go. Stade Rennes. I don't know who they've got in their team. Something's telling me they signed somebody quite good this year. And I can't remember who. Or they beat PSG or something, did they know? Aye, they did. They beat PSG no long ago. That was the result they got. They've got players such as Mbaye Niang, who you might remember playing in the Premier League. Diafra Sakho, remember playing for West Ham a couple of years back. Some decent players in that side. But it's a team which should be able to beat Stade Rennes. A trip around the Med. We're going to have a fucking nice weather anyway. Wow, so far, Lazio, Stade Rennes, no bad, I'd say. No bad. I'm quite happy with Stade Rennes. Or Stade Rennes, I don't know how the fuck you say it. Now, Rennes the other one is spelled Rennes. Madness. There we go. I may as well just put myself on like a fucking 4-month long cruise. Go a lot of. I mean, granted, the next place we could get could be near the Middle East or something. So, Istanbul, can't say that, but the place where the final is Istanbul, they've been drawn out. Saint Etienne was not long ago. So, I mean, I don't know too much about the opposition right now. Don't keep up with Lazio. All I know is I've got some really talented players in there. Stade Rennes beating PSG a few weeks ago. I mean, this could be all the makings of a tough group. A group that will make it hard to get through. But as I said, if we could do it last year, we can do it this year. Because last year, you can't talk. That's a good group. Standard de Liège getting in with Frankfurt and Arsenal. Some entertaining football going to be played in there. Arsenal and Frankfurt will be a game to keep your eyes on. As somebody who watches the Bundesliga, Frankfurt, one of the more entertaining teams to watch. Wolves have been drawn. Now, if I want Rangers to get any group, it's definitely got to be Arsenal, that group just a moment ago. Besiktas, Braga and Wolves drawn together. Wolves will be fancying themselves within that group. A trip to Turkey, not easy. If I want Rangers to get any group, it's got to be that one, Arsenal and Frankfurt, because fuck me, they get diddled. Partizan is the last team to be drawn, I believe, as they are drawn with Roma. And who's the other side? Oh, no, still another group to go, I believe. No, that's it. Partizan getting Astana. Man United getting the travels, getting the journeys. Man United fans got to go in some big ones. People saying Renee are not that special. Some other people saying we're going to get fucked. Really, I don't believe any Celtic fan has a clear opinion on what's going to happen. And I guess we can only watch as time goes. Then, obviously, beating PSG a couple of weeks ago, they must have a very good team. We can't underestimate anybody. At the end of the day, it can't be done. We can't underestimate any teams we're getting put in against here. I just believe we should be confident enough and good enough to proceed to the next round of the competition, judging off our performances and how we done last year. Because it can't get... they're talking about our group being very attractive right now. Lazio and Celtic, I mean, that is going to be a juicy one. I believe our political banners and such are going to be a great laugh against Lazio, which is great. A lot of people arguing over whether or not Rennes are a good team or not. At the end of the day, we know it's going to be tough. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we should beat them. Nothing special. You got to respect all the opposition. I just hope that we should be getting through. And that's right. We played them. No, we played them in a fucking friendly at the start of the season. Forgot all about that. We played them. We were pish. We didn't try at all. Drew 0-0. So we did. Forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder. I don't believe that game should give us any sort of indication of how this will go. It was a friendly. Nobody gave a shit. Aye, here we go though. Rangers will be out very soon. It'll be interesting to see who they're drawn now, because this is it. This is where the groups are finalised. We're on the final set of teams, pot 4. This will be interesting. We'll be able to get a full opinion in a moment. Lazio, Celtic, Rennes. That is the current field of teams we're dealing with. It's so much more exciting for the Champions League, isn't it? Because you know you can get a proper group of death, or you could get one of the fucking Gumpf groups where you could actually go through. But you don't really get that in Europa League. I think every group is equally as difficult, unless you get what the situation was last year and you get a proper difficult group. But this will be difficult, no denying that. I just hope that we can keep our journeys so far are short, which is good. France is just down the road, and Italy isn't much further, so that's great. FC Lugano are they from Switzerland as well? Don't know. Anyway, they've been drawn. I believe they are Swiss. I could be wrong, but they're drawn with Malmo, Copenhagen, Dynamo Kiev. That is a very decent group, actually. Let's see. Well, I mean, Rangers, they've got Ibrox is going to be their biggest advantage, and what they've got to take advantage of the most. But here we go. Next team drawn out. Will it be Rangers? Probably won't be. Still a lot to go. It's Trabzonspor of Turkey. A lot of fucking Turkish teams. You forget how many there actually is. It's weird how the Turkish teams always change from year to year. 1 year Galatasaray is at the fucking superpower, and then they're fucked. It's difficult. People saying, "What's Rangers get a better draw?" Potentially could. We have a tough one. There is some groups there you'd fancy your chances on right now, Rangers fans. Could you be getting a trip to London or Manchester? That's the question. I'm just wanting to go on another European away trip, but right now it's going to be, expensive ones because France and Italy. Rangers are out. That's Rangers drawn. Boom. They have been given the group of. Let me see it. Porto, Young Boys, Feyenoord, and Rangers. Well, Rangers fans, what do you think of that? A tough group, one of the tougher ones. Feyenoord and Porto, two massive teams. Young Boys, obviously, a good team as well. Mental. Rangers fans, you must be quite gutted about that group. Because I know, as a Celtic fan, if we were to replace Rangers there, I'd be quite sceptical. Both teams, though, both of us, Celtic and Rangers, getting handed very tough draws here. And for both teams to get through would be a miracle. Lask making up the group of PSV, Rosenborg, and Sporting Lisbon. I don't know who Lask are. Austria. That's a very good group in terms of travelling. Because you like to keep your journeys as short as possible. I believe this could be the team that's drawn. No, we're Group F, aren't we? I can't remember exactly. But, we want to avoid getting one of the worst teams because we've already got a tough enough group. Next team out the pot, Cluj. It's Cluj, the ones who knocked us out of the Champions League. And who are they meeting up with? Because obviously they can jump from group to group. Oh, look who it is, Nate. Cluj is back. Hey, Cluj. Nice to see you again. A little bit of revenge on the cards, and there you have it. Celtic and Rangers group have been paired. Have been completed, you could say. Unbelievable, though, that we get Cluj. We actually did. I mean, I joked about it. I said I wanted it. I said I wanted the revenge, and there we go. Cluj are the team we get. We need to get our revenge, and we know we're good enough to beat them. And we'll wait for the draw to finish, and I'll give a kind of overall summary. Already my Rangers pals who support Rangers saying that they think they'll finish second. I see that being a difficult one for Rangers. I see finishing second for us being a difficult one, but we should be able to do it. We are capable. We were capable last year. We can be capable this year. We've also got time to sign players, kind of buck things together. But Cluj we need to invoke a lot of revenge on. Vitoria making up the last team in that tough group between Arsenal, Frankfurt and Standard Liège. That is a good group to look at. Some entertaining draws here, to say the least. Europa League always get to find some wee obscure teams and players that you've never heard of and sometimes impress you and sometimes give you some very entertaining football to watch. Sometimes some absolute shit as well. Don't get me wrong. Who's coming out the pot now? It is not going to pronounce that from Hungary. Not even going to attempt it. Begins with an F. They have been drawn against Moscow, Ludogorets and Espanyol, which is a decent group as well, actually. Only a few more teams to be drawn out. See who Manchester United are going to be drawn against. All the English teams have been given their groups, I believe, unless Wolves are yet to find out their fourth team. But aye, we got a group: Lazio, Stade Rennes, and Cluj. It's nice to be meeting Cluj again. It's like the same situation as Rosenborg last year, except from, we never got beat off Rosenborg, but Cluj beat us. Roma, Mönchengladbach, Istanbul, and Wolfsberger. Yeah, that's a nice top two there. A very nice top two teams. They'll be competing for first place in the group, I imagine. First place in our group's going to be hard to get. Obviously, we want to finish first in Europa League to avoid the harder draws in the last 32, but it's going to be difficult. We need some big performances, as Kenny has just said. We really do. Big performances are going to be big for anybody who's just joined or not heard. Celtic, Lazio, Rennes, and Cluj is our group. Yes, you heard correctly, Cluj. Besiktas, Braga, Wolves, and Slovan Bratislava drawn together in Group K, which means Manchester United will be given AZ Alkmaar. Just going to open the ball to prove that the draw is not fixed. It'd be funny if it was. Imagine just it wasn't AZ Alkmaar that came at this ball, but Man United getting AZ Alkmaar, probably the most difficult team from pot 4, from the Netherlands, Holland, and that is their group of Man United, Astana, AZ Alkmaar, and Partizan, and that's it. The Europa League draw is complete. So let's have a quick summary of all the groups, if we quickly can. 2 very tough groups for the Celtic and Rangers. If I can get a full breakdown of the draw, that would be great. I don't know how long we have to wait. I don't know if I can even be bothered waiting. But Celtic, Lazio, Rennes, and Cluj, that is the group we are dealing with. We'll get a full opinion, I imagine, on YouTube very time soon. But my initial reaction is tough. It is tough. But we've done it last year, and we can expect to do it this year. Because last year it was harder. Much harder. But, we've got a very difficult trip to Italy. Very right-wing side. We've got a difficult trip to France, playing a team who not long ago were beating PSG a couple of weeks ago. And then a team who just knocked us out the Champions League. We know we can't underestimate these sides. We need some big performances, and you're looking at maybe, 12 points to get us through this group. We've got to take advantage of all our trips at Celtic Park. None of this lazy atmosphere or lazy performances on the night. We need to turn up. We need to get the 9 points from Celtic Park and then get a result away at Cluj. And then we'll talk about getting through this group. But aye, that's it. Europa League draw over. I don't want to keep the stream going on too far. I'll have the Old Firm preview probably up tonight. We'll probably review this draw tomorrow or something. And then it's a big weekend. You know what? Thank you all for watching. It would be very, very appreciated if you like the stream and share it after it is off the air. But Europa League draw is done. And best of luck to Celtic, not to Rangers. How do I end the stream? There we go. See you all after. Thank you. This is the embarrassing part. Bye.